So till now we have learned how to pull an image using Docker pull command, and we were also able to pull the Docker image from a Docker run command as well. Okay, and Docker pull command is to pull the image. With Docker run command, it will pull the image and also run it on the particular port. Okay, and we can also run it in a detached mode. So the command was we directly use this command. Okay, docker run -d -p 8081. That is the port of the host on which it is binded, and inside the container it runs on port 80. Okay, and we gave it as a name as web app 1. Not web app 1. In this example we are giving as a web app 1. Earlier it was just an nginx. Now will be creating a custom image in which we'll have our own HTML file, that is index.html, and using docker file we will build that image. Okay, so let me first create this structure. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating a website directory. Inside website directory I'm creating an app directory. Inside app directory I'll be having an index.html file. Okay, this is our index.html file, but remember to come back one directory. Okay, and here I'll create a docker file. Okay, and docker file will mention what are the steps we will be performing to create an image. So we have a docker file, and in an app directory we have a sample HTML application. So what we are doing here is we are just downloading a base image, that is the Alpine base image. We are setting a label who created this container image. Okay, environmental variable app port we are defining as port 80. Okay, this is used by the developers. We haven't defined any port. Okay, but developer can define any environmental variable in the code that we can call it in the docker container or docker file as well. Then we are setting the working directory as usr share nginx html. Why we are setting this as a working directory? Because we'll be copying the app directory which we created here. Okay, this app directory, the contents of the app directory, that is index.html, will be copied in usr share nginx html. Why this directory? Because in nginx, which uses the Alpine image, anything which we store in usr share nginx html will be displayed on the screen. That is the default location for displaying index.html pages or html pages or any other application. It can be index.php as well. And this is again this is only for documentation purpose. We are saying that it is listening on port 80 inside the container. Then using this command we are just starting the container. Okay, so let's start building the image. So the command would be sudo docker build -t. We are giving it a tag or a name. Okay, web app 1 and dot. That means create an image which will have a name web app 1. Okay, from a docker file, that is this docker file which is at the current location. Okay, that's why we are giving here a dot. Search for a docker file which is at the current location. Okay, so this is a new VM. Let me quickly install docker on it. Sudo apt get update, and the other command is sudo apt-get install docker.io. Okay, so Docker is installed. I'll just build an image. Docker build -t dot. So as we discussed in the last week, the Docker file comprises of various layer. For each command, it is creating one layer. First, it downloaded the Alpine image, okay, Nginx Alpine image. It created that layer. It has one name. Then the maintainer was defined. That is, a label was given. Again, a layer is created. Similarly, for each command, if you can see, there is a layer, and an image is successfully created. By default, we didn't give any tag to it. Tag means version to it. We can also give v1, v2, v3. As we haven't given anything, it has automatically taken the latest tag. Now if we check docker images, with docker images, if we check, okay, we can see it is having a latest tag. Now we would like to run this image as well, the custom image which we created now. So command would be docker run -d, run in a detached mode. Okay, then the port, map it to 8081 of this local host. Okay, and inside the container it is running on port 80. We'll give it a name as web app 1 and use the image web app 1. Okay, many times you would add a dot to it. The here dot is not required. It is required only while creating the image. Okay, so this is the name of the image. I forgot hyphen name. We can also give an image. Till now we were not giving the name, but in this exercise we are also giving it a name, and just run enter. Okay, so if you see docker ps, it is running on port 8081 on this host, and inside the container it is running on port 80. Just do curl localhost 8081. Our custom image is displayed on the screen. It is also available on the IP address 192.168. So till now now IP address has changed. Till now it was 1.11. Now it is 200.11 for me. This VM's IP address. Okay, so it is also available on localhost 127. Also it will list, and from outside also it will be accessible. So let me check. So I'll be in the same range where that VM is. Okay, so that's why I have to do. Okay, so if I do just 8081, okay, it is showing me HTML web app. Okay, so I'm browsing it from a VM which has 200.11 range. Okay, so this is all about the Docker file. You all perform it now, the exercise, and if you have any questions, let me know by sharing your screen.